The following is a presentation of the Flex Radio.
It's the interview sessions.
The interview sessions. In conjunction with the Flex Radio.
The team of Giovanni Jackson and David L. David
bring you the latest in entertainment news.
Featuring exclusive interviews with some of your favorite TV, movie, and sports world figures.
Giovanni and David are what's in.
Keeping you entertained with their chemistry and comical personalities.
The interview sessions.
Tune in weekly as they bring you new episodes you don't want to miss.
Please like, subscribe, and download.
It's the interview sessions. The interview sessions with Giovanni Jackson and David L. David.
Yo, what's up, Blast Master KRS-One?
Yes, this is your man David L. David, and yes, this is the Flex Radio, and I'm here today with my guest host, Giovanni Jackson. Giovanni.
What's up? What's up?
Yep, and you know what? We got a special guest host with us. He goes by the name, the title Invincible Artist. His name is Nikhil Narayan. What up, Nick?
Yo, what's up?
Yeah, man. So I guess, in the background, you hear the song, man. The song is called South Bronx from the Boogie Down Productions. And I played this song. This is one of my favorites, even though I'm from Queens. This is one of my favorites, right? And so I want to bring in, the guest that we have on the show today, man. He goes by the name of Kool DJ Red Alert. What's up, Red?
What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing?
Good.
Good. What's up, man?
All right.
And I'm gonna let you guys know from the beginning. Okay, when I moved out here to Georgia, which is probably about a little over 5 years now, right? So I call Red, because I ain't know nobody out here. So I call Red. Hey, Red, you know anybody in Georgia, man? I need to connect with some people in Georgia. I don't know nobody out there, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, after I moved here, I started working on this radio station that will remain nameless. And so I called Uncle Red. I was like, hey, Red, man, look, I'm doing this. I'm not really feeling this right now. Red was like, go ahead, start your own, do the internet thing. And I was like, yo, good idea. So in other words, Red is the reason why I'm doing this Flex Radio thing right now, basically,
Wow.
So Red is the man. And I don't listen.
That's big.
I don't know. I've known Red for years now, man, and I don't know if Red has ever been in a bad mood. Red always has good words for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you really feel like you talking to your uncle. That's why they call him Uncle Red. You really feel like you talking to your uncle. You know what I mean? So yeah, Red is the man. Red, I appreciate you. You already know that, man.
And keep in mind, everybody, I didn't pay him to say that. Yeah, but all love, man. Appreciate that, man. Thanks,
yeah,
Dave.
for sure, man, for sure. So I know Giovanni had about about a half a dozen questions for you. So Giovanni, what you want to know about Uncle Red?
Okay, so Uncle Red, I just have to know, and please tell me, how did you even, get your start? What was the beginning for you? Can you tell me about that?
Well, here it is that start from the household. When I'm saying in the household, I grew up in a Caribbean household. A lot of people don't know that my background is from Antigua. So being raised by my grandparents on my mother's side in the household, it was a combination of soul, calypso, a little bit of merengue, but then my older brother, he used to bring in a slew of different variety sounds. He was a record collector. And that consists of the early Motown, soul music, some funk music, and some early Latin music. So that had me so intrigued while I'm listening at home. So by the time I got to high school, I took a music class. And most times, I know a lot of people always take up, to learn instruments. I took up one instrument I didn't care for, but what I learned to do is to read and write music. And at the same token time that's going on, I went to a school up in the Bronx called D. Prep School, which at that time was all boys. Now, 2 train stations away from it up in the Bronx was Lehman College. So, when you're in high school, you think you call yourself being with the big boys, you go hang out over the college campus. And I went in there and I saw in the lunchroom, I saw this guy had this setup on top of them long lunchroom tables. And I like, what is he doing? So I saw how he had it set up with the turntables and this device in the middle and crates of records behind him. I'm just listening and playing sounds. I like, yo, I like this.
Yeah.
So, that was the start for me to get more to learn. As after I graduated from Duke, I did a year and a half in Hampton, and I took up communication engineering, third class license.
Hmm.
But at the same token of time, I came. Now, before I went down there, I did go used to sneak downtown to the clubs and the discos, but then on a Saturday, go listen to the sounds of Kool Herc. So I'll listen to the variation of what Herc was doing and the DJs were doing downtown. By the time I come back for a year and a half, then I start seeing the next wave of DJs coming around. You got Flash, rest in peace, AJ, guy named Mario, rest in peace, and, various others. So I took it upon myself, I came home after a year and a half from college. I got my job. And nobody taught me how to DJ because I looked and watched, and I taught myself at home. And I think with the help of me going to school, taking up music, learn how to segue, how to adapt, accommodating one song to another, by the pattern of the music, by the bars and everything. And I got more into mixing before the scratching took place, and that's what led me to what it is.
Wow, that's amazing. Uncle Red, do you play any instruments?
What I played was very light. It was a flute.
Okay.
That's what's up, though.
Yeah,
Like Andre 3000 now. He came up with a whole flute album.
yeah, how about it? Isn't that interesting? But yeah, that's what I started. But like I said, I didn't really get too deep into the instrument, so that's why I started learning how to read and write music.
Wow, that's amazing. That really is.
Yes.
So, Uncle Red, what is the connection with you and Boogie Down Productions? Can you help me understand that?
Well, okay, as we skip over everything, I have a great relationship with rest in peace, my man Scott LaRock. Scott LaRock and I have something in common, through playing ball. So when you into the league of basketball and coming across so many others throughout the city, I played in different tournaments and everywhere around traveling. That's how I got to meet Scott, and at the same time, Scott became a DJ. So when Scott was thinking about taking it to the next level from being in the clubs, he wanted to say, "Yo, I'm looking for get into recording business." So at the same time, he was a counselor at a homeless shelter up there in the Bronx, up in Kingsbridge, and he came across the artist who everybody know, KRS One. So here it is, Scott time after time, asking me questions. So when they finally came with that record that y'all just finished playing, he brought it to a club called Latin Quarters. And the guy who was DJing at the time named Raul. Raul was the DJ because he was playing Celebrity Tuesdays that the Awesome 2 used to have every Tuesday. So here it is. Here comes Scott and here comes Chris. I'm in the booth while they brought the record to him. He played it. People going crazy. Played it over again. They're going crazy. After Raul passed the record back to Scott, he passed it over to me. He said, "This is for you for the radio."
Wow.
That's how that became. So here it is. I will credit Raul for being the first one to play it, but I'm the first one to play it on radio.
Wow.
Okay. Wow. You know what, Uncle Red, I ask this one all the time. And have you ever met my dad before? Joe
Who?
Jackson?
Say that again, please.
I said, have you ever met my father before, Joe Jackson?
Oh yeah. Yes.
Oh, that's so cool because I like to ask that because a lot of individuals that I interview, you know, they always have some cool story behind it that I'd like to hear about my dad. But that's cool that you met my dad before.
Yes,
And
I have met him, but it was very brief. Very brief, because you come in passing, you've been introduced to various others, and I got to meet him. And your father was like, "Hey, son, how you doing? All right?" Your father had that quick talk, and, hey, son, but I have learned with him later on. That's coming from as a business person. You're so quick to talk and whatever you have to say and move on to the next thing.
yeah.
So that's how he came across. Mm-hmm.
So okay, so like, what other DJs like came up in your era?
Oh, it's all like I said, after going to see Hurricane and coming back, and now it's Flash. So we around in the same bracket, but even though Flash, AJ, Africa Bambaataa, Mario, several others, I got to fit right into that bracket, joining along later on. So yeah, it's a whole because right after, I know you probably heard about this, the 1977 blackout that they had in New York City. Overnight became a lot of DJs because they went free shopping. If you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
You know?
I get it.
So that's where overnight everybody started becoming DJs, and everybody had a sound system. So during that time, you didn't have to have permit to be going outside to play music. Everybody just come on out. If it's on the block, it's in the park, wherever it is, all throughout the city.
Wow. So, Uncle Red, when did you start radio?
I started radio in 1983, in October 1980. I came off the hills with my cousin, the original DJ Jazzy J, because they gave him a start. He did it for a couple months, even though they didn't pay him, but he gave him exposure, and notoriety to start doing different things. So he let it go. So that's what came to me. And I did that for like 3 months with no pay.
Oh wow.
But it's called paying your dues.
Right.
Yeah.
So as I did that for 3 months with no pay, it was opening doors for me to start doing different parties, doing different gigs, getting ready to host different events. And then when I finally get paid, it was very low. But I have learned to utilize that, saying I got an inside, I'm at my office spot, which is a radio station, for outside work.
Yeah.
Man, shout out to Jazzy J. Hey, Red, I went to Jazzy's house one year, man. Probably a little more than 10 years ago or so. I ain't never seen Jazzy J's house looks like the Wiz, man. As far as records go, I've never seen so many albums, man, in one place.
Yeah. Big up to my cousin.
Yeah, shout out to Jazzy J.
That's what's
so Red, so Uncle Red, so you're still on the radio now, of course. So
yes, I'm still on the radio in New York City, WBLS.
Wow.
It's a blessing, and proud to say, as of last year in October, have marked 40 years I've been on radio.
That's
sweet.
amazing. Wow.
Man, happy anniversary, man. 40 years. So this is the 41st, but happy, man. Happy 40th.
So,
wow.
So you can imagine within them 40 years how I have overcome obstacles, different generations, different eras, variety of sounds, different formats, different, a little bit of everything. You see how everything has evolved, and you learn to adapt to it.
Yeah.
Right.
Correct.
Yep. They need to make a movie about you.
You know what? Things in the works, and I'm not a person that really like to talk about it until when I know it comes to fruition. So I can only say STFM. Stay tuned for more.
That's it.
Yeah.
Ooh, I love it. I love it. I'm excited. So, okay, so I just have to ask like one more thing. Like, what do you think about hip hop back in the day versus hip hop today?
Hip hop in the past was, diamond in the rough. It was
Yeah.
very edgy. It's like anything you start with, you gonna get it very rough. It's like the cutting edge. And
Yeah.
then over the period of time, once it stopped being captured by the machine, when I say the machine, I'm talking about companies, industry,
Yeah. Yeah.
all
Yeah.
affiliation. You know, start to have it refined because from what I learned within the sounds of hip hop culture, and now I'm just talking about the sounds, I'm not talking about the whole entire culture. Most of the time, every genre of music we all have been a part of, is, have witnessed and listened to come from culture.
Mm-hmm.
Jazz come from a culture, rhythm and blues come from a culture. All different genres come from a culture. So they strip one thing first, the music. And then what they do, they want to go ahead and repackage it to their to their standard, so know how to go and present it to the masses, which is the audience.
Yeah.
And that's what happens. So it's like I know where I come from, where it was the diamond in the rough, and learn to adapt to what it become later on. And learn to when you program how you could still present what is it where you come from according to what's going on. It's all about accommodating back and forth.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm.
I agree.
Wow.
So there's
That's
not
amazing. I
when
love
because I can play countless songs. Okay, and the respect that Uncle Red gets. Yeah, and plus, Uncle Red, I saw the footage of your 40th on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? So I seen you had
Thank you.
Redman. Who else was there? I know Redman was there. I didn't get a chance to make it, of course, but who else? Who
Yeah,
showed up?
who it was an honor to have Redman perform, Special Ed perform, um, Soul Sounded Force,
Okay.
that made the song Planet Rock.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
My family, the Jungle Brothers,
Okay.
Nice.
KRS-One, the God Rakim, and world greatest
Wow.
entertainer, Dougie Fresh.
Wow.
Wow.
Sweet, sweet.
Yo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
We're
was
just in
about to
awe.
I was
And,
about
and
to
keep in
say,
mind,
man. Uh-huh.
can I say something real quick? As
Oh
I
yeah.
just mentioned, each one of them artists, think about the different time period.
Mm-hmm.
Soul Solid Force, when they
Mm-hmm.
came out with Planet Rock, that was 82.
Wow.
Mm.
Jungle Brothers, when they came, they had that big hit record, Our Girl, Our House, in 1988.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm.
The Special Ed came out, he was around 90.
Mm-hmm.
Here it is, Chaos One, of course, he right before Boogie Down Possession, he came out 86. Rakim also 86.
Mm-hmm.
Redman came out, what, later on in the 90s? So you
Right.
look at the spectrum in that range of how the different generations, different eras of music had transcended that was up there on that stage.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's
Yeah,
what I
that's
was gonna say,
fascinating, man.
man. See, most of these
Yeah.
artists, like, you can't play too many songs where you don't hear somebody mentioning DJ Red Alert. You don't hear that
Right.
many songs.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I mean, I don't from Rakim to Will Smith, Jazzy Jeff in the Fresh Prince. Just
Mhm.
any and everybody who has written a record at some point in time mentions Uncle Red. So you already know, okay, he was a big influence on all of these artists. You know what I mean? Red was
Mm-hmm.
doing his thing. Y'all didn't grow up in New York. I grew up in New York. I'm from Queens. So I used to hear Red. We used to be back in the day, man, getting the tapes ready, the blank tapes. And if you didn't have a blank tape, you put the tape over the two holes on the top just to get ready to record, Red coming on
Yeah.
that night. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
yeah, man. So those were the days, man. So yeah, so we
And,
really
and can I piggyback off of that, Dave?
uh-huh, uh-huh.
Big up to everybody who was recording me because them tapes during that time was so strong. They was the internet of our time. And the
Yep.
reason why I say that, because them tapes had traveled, and people going away to school, going to the service, going to see family, tapes had traveled overseas. So that's how people got to hear about me because them tapes had traveled everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. Man, I used to listen, when
Wow.
I would go out of town, you have no idea. Like I would go to Michigan probably every year, if not every year, every other year. And I was the flyest on the block because I had all the hip hop songs that Uncle Red was playing on the radio. So I used to play it because they didn't, a lot of these other states didn't get the music. They didn't get what we got in New York. You know what I mean? So so that was big, man, back in the day. Yep.
And it helped broaden to other different locations across the United States where people start establishing their way of how they wanted to produce hip hop sound. Exactly. So, even though it's all variations that's in the South and the Midwest and the West, whatever spectrum it is, and then even from going overseas, they got touched by the sounds they was hearing until they portrayed. Because everywhere across the board, people don't live the same way like the next town live. So whatever they have come across, or whatever their imagination is, and being idealistic is what they portray in their music.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow. Yep. So, Uncle Red, okay, you know what? You may not even have a favorite artist. Do you have a favorite artist?
Do I have what?
A favorite artist?
It's hard to say for over the years I've been playing because I came across so many from different generations. So it's hard to say. It's hard to say. But what I love to do, because many times when people hear me program my set, like I still said about different generations, different eras, sometimes when the people hear my set, you can't even tell from what era it was from the other because of how you accommodate one song to another, make it all sound right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I mean, the same thing when it comes to different artists. There's so many that I'll accommodate and make it all sound right for everybody to enjoy, please, dance, wherever it is. But it's hard to break down who is my favorite.
Yeah. Because you've seen so much. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's what's up.
But I love what I do.
Yeah.
Oh, it shows. It shows.
Uncle Red, so this is Nikhil, Invisible Artist out here in Los Angeles, California, man. Salute to you. So, like growing up, I would hear your name like David was saying, like on record, countless records, you know what I mean, and people just shouting you out, and it's like it just go on one hand, it goes to show how much love and respect you had in within the hip hop community. But I found myself like looking for a Red Alert record, you know what I mean, or something like that, because you were so well known already from other people's records, So my question is did you ever get into production itself?
Yeah, I had got involved with production. Now, even before I got into production, what I used to do when I was traveling around with Boogie Down Production everywhere we went, everybody was always asking to copy my tape, a copy of my radio show. So when I got in conjunction with a label, Next Plateau, and what I said, let me go ahead and put out an album, making it sound like the radio. It would get the rights of different companies to put the music in, and now here it is. Everybody gets to see it all, hear it all across the board. So that's what led me into production. So when I got more into the production, there was different artists who I helped get signed up, Black Rock and Ron, Ultramagnetic, and from there led me into my nephew. Here it is. He told me that him and his boys wanted to go ahead and get, make some music, and I was okay. I came across somebody I knew that had a studio. We went in there, and I let them develop themselves, and they became big, known as the Jungle Brothers.
Oh. Wow.
Okay.
Oh.
And right behind that, that's where we was able to go ahead and do the introduction of a Tribe Called Quest. Congratulations, they getting ready to be inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. At the same token of time, they have made an attachment with some the guys named De La Soul. They had similarity. I was real cool with another guy, may he rest in peace, Mark the 45, that produced so many different artists, and one of them is Queen Latifah, that was label mates with De La Soul on the same label.
Wow.
And here it is, Younger Brothers wind up going overseas in '88 for the first time. Who they come across? The top female MC, well, really the top MC at that time in London, Moni Love.
Wow.
And then who tails out later on is My man, Mr. Long, that I met down in North Carolina as a DJ, he came up here. He said he had an artist with him, and they attached themselves with us, and it became known as Black Sheep. So everything was
Wow.
like, it was all together. But that's all through, when I started having Red Alert production, and everything just worked in place.
Man, you see, and I hope we got the younger generation listening to this, man. I mean, Red has seen every single solitary year of hip hop music. You know what I mean? He's been involved. Red is history. That's our Black history, hip hop history walking around. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, it's a treat for us to talk to Red Alert, man. And it's not, it's not an interview. It's a conversation. I can't call it an interview.
Yes,
It's a conversation.
It's a conversation. And may I elaborate to you, young man, as you come out there in the West Coast. I remember my first time coming out there in the mid-'80s, right along with a female MC I used to DJ for named Sparky D. We did our
Yeah.
And at the time we was out there, that's how I got to meet Ice as we was doing something with him. And then, I came across, joining along with him, and I got to meet a host of many other people. So I remember the heydays y'all had. My man Toddy T that made a record called Battle Ram, and
Man,
and then at the time Ice had Dog in the Wax, and King T had Paid Back a Mother.
What?
And then here it is, I got to join forces with I got to see him last year for the first time in over 30 years, Greg Mack. I know Greg Mack was the man out there,
Wow.
So
that's what I thought of when you were saying about how you wanted to make a record that sounds like the radio. Because when Dre and them started producing like Eazy-E's I'm on the radio, you know what I mean? They had Greg Mack on. It sounded like a radio station, you know what I mean? Like, so wow, the connection is amazing. It's
there was so much music that was out there from its early stages I used to bring back to the city. I never mentioned where it came from. I just programmed it. And that's why the reason I did that, because, to some degree, no matter where it is, to be New York or LA, wherever it is, some people are closed-minded because they are so fixated upon where they live, and they feel it don't come from their town. They don't want to accept it. So what I did, I learned to bring back what music is from anywhere across the board and program into my set. I program it so much where you get to liking it every day. When they find out that where it come from, say, I didn't know that. But if I would have told you where it came from, you would have turned your mind off like, I don't like it.
Yeah, right.
So I did the back door. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
You have to program it instead of talk about it.
right.
Wow. Yep. Yeah, I feel you, man. Because, like Rakim said, it ain't where you're from; it's where you at. If it sounds good, hey, because if it sounds good, man, play it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah. But I know exactly what you're talking about, because especially.
That's what.
Go ahead, Nikhil.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's one of the things that I really admire about the DJs, especially from the golden era, because what made the DJ was playing, like, breaking records. You know what I mean? Having records that nobody heard of, and you know what I mean? Like that's what made, oh man, play that jam. You know what I mean? Like, well, what was that? It makes everybody else like who is that? What was that? You know what I mean? And it just sets you apart, man. You guys broke records. You broke records.
You introduce the sounds from all across the board and learn how to mesh it and make it sound complete.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So back in the day, man, because I remember, I go back to talking about New York again, of course, because that's where I'm from. So back in the day, we didn't hear rap songs. We didn't hear hip hop songs on the radio in the daytime. So our only way of listening to the hip hop songs was to listen to, you had Red Alert, you had Chuck Chill Out, you had Mr. Magic. You had these, DJs that would come on, at night, Friday, Saturday nights, and that was our party. That was our thing. Because we couldn't get played, hip hop couldn't get played in the daytime. You know what I mean?
No, not at all.
So when I say
it wasn't accepted at that time.
Exactly.
Accepted.
So they fought the battle to make hip hop what it is today. And my only beef with the younger generation is that I don't think all of them respect that. You know what I mean? But it's people like, like Uncle Red and people that I just mentioned, that's the reason why hip hop is where it is today.
Yeah.
This
Absolutely.
multi-billion-dollar industry,
Absolutely.
the biggest
Paved the
biggest
way,
selling
right?
industry, as a matter of fact.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Keep in mind, everybody. At one point in time, I was rivals with Mr. Magic. Right, he rests in peace. I call him the door opener for me to be on radio because he started off playing hip hop on radio, and when he got to the major station WBLS, where I'm at right now, here it is. I was on Kiss FM, so Magic was
Wow.
very vocal. When he was very vocal, he started talking about, well, who is this guy? Such and such. So he talked about me. And I used to get upset until, I learned that, is he talking about me, advertising me. And before, we became rivals. We was like a Magic Johnson, Larry Bird situation, And then here it is, as I'm having certain groups under my belt, him and Marley Marl have groups under their belt, this Juice Crew, And here it is, we still play each other records because here it is that you down with BLS and you down with that group and they got some good records. I'm not supposed to play it? No, I'm gonna play the record.
Right.
And not only that, but look where it wound up later on, years later, after a rival with the groups I had and the groups they had. It came out to being that Mr. Magic, Marley Marl, Karis One, and I got together to do a Sprite commercial.
Wow.
Wow, a Sprite commercial.
So you know what it was?
Wow.
When there was battles at that time, we kept it professional and kept it on a microphone. We didn't take it no further. We ain't taking no further. It never got physical. It never got out of hand. It was all about the skill level.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what hip hop is all about. Hip hop saved my life. You know what I mean? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow, hip hop is what's up. It's ageless, it's timeless, it's forever.
Yep.
And it's love too. It's universal.
Yeah, exactly. It's everywhere. It's people that listen to our station, hip hop, that we get people from Australia, because people in Australia, Japan, all of these other countries, man, love hip hop music. They love it. I think they love it more than we do, to be honest with you.
Hey,
it's
I bring
amazing.
something up?
Go ahead, Ray.
Can I bring something up? Here it is that I went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and they have a display of old flyers way in the past of people that was either playing rhythm and blues, jazz, whatever it was, and you'll see these flyers where they was one group versus another group. So it wasn't always competitive and hip competitive other genres of music. Who could outdo who? They got the actual flyers in the museum. You ever take time to go there, check around to some of these different layouts and different spectrums, and you see some of the old flyers, you'd be like amazed.
Wow, that's amazing. Oh, I want to go see that. I want to see those flyers.
Yeah, and it's an honor that I have a display in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
That's what's up.
That is so cool.
Wow, that's monumental. Yeah.
Yes, it's an honor.
And Uncle Ray, isn't there like there's a hip hop museum though, right? As well?
The hip hop museum, the official hip hop museum, will be open within next year, 2025, taking up in the culture started in the BX in the Bronx. And it's gonna be amazing.
Okay,
I know it is. I want to go.
And it's gonna be located. Where's it gonna be located, Red?
Up in the Bronx.
Oh, it's gonna be in the Bronx. Okay, yeah, because I heard about that one that they're doing out there in DC. I seen a couple weeks ago. I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Respect to the people that's doing their thing down there in DC. We have respect for them, but when you see this one come across by next year, you gonna be like, wow.
Nice. Yeah, definitely gotta get to that, man. Yep.
Excited.
That's gonna give me reasons to get on flights and go back home more often. Because I swear, I only go back home maybe once a year now. When I first moved here, it was like every week. I think I was on a flight going back to New York because missing the food, missing the people, missing everything. But now it's like, man. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna go visit that for sure. Hey, Red, have you ever been to the Smithsonian in DC?
Never had a chance to get there.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm looking
we had
forward. That's on my bucket list.
yeah, because when they inducted, my ex-wife into it, Danielle Spencer from What's Happening, when they inducted her into it, we went to the the opening. It was like I think the weekend before they were actually opening it, where President Obama inducted her into the Smithsonian. So that was pretty cool. So I got to
Wow.
experience that. Yeah,
Sweet.
Yeah, that's dope.
yeah, that was.
And
really
I
cool.
heard it take a while to go through the whole entire thing.
Listen, and it wasn't even finished when I went. The third floor wasn't done yet. But let me tell you, don't if you bring your kids there and you turn your head, your kids you're gonna be spending a couple hours trying to find them. That place is huge. And it doesn't look when you look at it from the outside, it doesn't look like it could be that big. That place is huge.
I hear that.
Yeah,
Wow.
man. So, but it was nice to go in there, and that's why I can't wait for this museum to be, finished in 2025 because, it was nice to go to that museum. It was in DC and, nothing against DC, of course, but hip hop started in New York, in the Bronx. So I think like going to the museum in the Bronx, man, is just going to be that much, more special. I can't wait for that.
Right.
Yeah, that's the mecca of hip hop. Absolutely.
I mean, I have respect for the people that put together what they have in DC, and it was good timing for this past year, the 50 years of the culture, But the finishing touch is coming up.
That's right. Yep, that's right.
That's so exciting.
So Uncle Red, let me ask you this. So you got millions of fans. So if they wanted to reach you, I know you're on social media, right? What's your your handle on social media in case they wanted to go out there and send your friend requests?
My handle on social media is at Kool DJ Red Alert. That's who with a K.
There you go. At Kool DJ Red Alert.
Yeah, at Kool DJ Red Alert. Kool with a K.
All right, cool. So Uncle Red, man. So look, it was amazing having you on the show. You and I've been, talking for years, man. So I'm glad to say we are friends. Not too many people can say that. But I'm glad to say me and Uncle Red are friends, man. I've been to Uncle Red's, birthday parties, when I was back home in New York and it was, everybody's always celebrating this gentleman only because, listen, for several reasons, but the main one is because he is genuine. He's a true friend, never has nothing bad to say about anybody. I forget about back in the day, we were all young at one point. But when I'm telling you, as long as I've known Uncle Red, I've never heard him say not one bad thing about anybody. So that's the kind of people that you want in your circle. People that you can learn from.
Facts.
Yes. So you're not just, learning from them, but you're just having a good time talking to them, and I appreciate
Yeah, man,
that.
it's magnetic. I'll just like to say this is the longest I've actually heard Uncle Red speak, and it's changing my perspective on life. Period. Just to be more positive, and it's so refreshing to hear his mannerism. It's so inviting and it's sincere,
Educational.
and your contribution to, not just to hip hop, but just to life. Period. Because hip hop changed the world, man. Like your contribution and just to hear this positivity, like in this day and age, but there is so much controversy and people killing each other over this the superficiality of it all. Just to hear your voice, man. You're very much loved and celebrated, man. And
Yep,
Yeah.
for sure.
Thank you.
And like I
What
said,
I have learned over the years is this.
Mhm.
Now I'm blessed to be brought up the proper way. Like I said, I come from a Caribbean household. Caribbean people are very stern, in their tradition. But I know all the things that we all have gone through in our lives. What's going on with controversy, and trouble, and everything that you see. But you got to be strong-minded to be self-contained and hold your grounds to become who you are.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I share some of that too, Red, because my dad is from Trinidad, man. So I know exactly what you're talking about, man. My father did not play. When my father said something, it was like, you gonna do it this way. There ain't no other way. Just the way you gonna do it. But it was all love. It was never. I never felt like my father did not love me. But he also knew he wasn't playing about his boys. He wasn't.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel
And
it.
we all know that Daddy wasn't playing.
Oh, yeah, we know your daddy wasn't playing.
We all know that.
Yeah, we know that. Joe Jackson was not playing. Joe Jackson scared me. But anyway, hey, Uncle Red, man, listen, it was great, chatting with you today, man. And once again, like I said, I could pick up the phone at any time. I don't know if there was one time that I picked up the phone and Red did not answer or call me back if he was busy. No, most of the time he'll answer the phone and always answers it, with some good words, man. So like I said, I myself appreciate that, and I'm happy to say that I know you, and you just Uncle Red, man, the coolest legend.
Hey, like I said, everybody, I didn't pay him to say that.
There you go. All right.
Thank you so much for being you.
Thank you. Yep. So once again, this is your man, David L. David, and Giovanni Jackson, and my boy, Nikhil Narayan. That is double D, double J, and double N. And we were chatting with the coolest legend, my man, Uncle Red. We'll be right back.
Thanks for tuning in. Don't
forget to like, subscribe, and share.
hit that follow button to be notified when new episodes are released.
Choose your platform.
Listen to us on Amazon Music,
YouTube Podcast,
Apple Podcasts,
iHeartRadio,
and Spotify.
The interview sessions
On the Flex Radio.
ranked 66 out of more than 2.5 million other podcasts.
Tune in directly.
Download the Flex Radio app today.